I welcome you all. I also welcome today's speaker, Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni sir, for this webinar. I think today's topic is data analytics and foundry, one of the most hearted topic. I think every one of us in the foundries understand the value of this data. I think the entire world is talking about AI, MI, all these things. The basic is the data which is to be play a major role. And now we are talking about the digitalization of data, all those things. The basic is the data and how this data to be analyzed. Because see, once the data is collected, how this data to be analyzed, that makes a lot of difference. And we have Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni. I think I'm sure that most of the people knows Mr. Sandeep sir. He's a well-known personality, even though he's stationed at Kolhapur. I think I am sure that the entire foundry fraternity across the India knows him well. I have a very close relationship with him. I actually thank him on behalf of our request. He has agreed to do this webinar. And Chennai chapters conducts this every second Saturday, this webinar series. I request everyone to take note of this and try to join this webinar series. I am sure that today's session will have a lot of knowledge for every one of us from his basic knowledge, and he's a practical foundry man, and we can learn a lot of things from him. Thank you all once again.
Okay, thank you, Sandeep sir. Actually, now I request Mr. Hem Prasad, Council Member, Chennai Chapter, to introduce our speaker for the day to the audience.
Thank you, sir. It's my privilege to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Sandeep C Kulkarni. He is having a very vast experience in different foundries like Muta Group of Industries, Nyat Foundry, Kolhapur, Dunong Industries, and currently he is working as a general manager in Aditi Industries, Ampur, Kolhapur. His experience in different lines like melting, then molding lines, and core making. Some of his achievements are: he set up a ductile iron metallurgy at Muta Sperokar Shatara in 1995. He has increased his production from 150 ton to 750 ton at Nyat Foundry. He has developed a high piston grade successfully at Vishwakarma Foundry. He has produced ductile iron foundry by using cupola furnace at Nyat Foundry. He established a total paperless documentation system at Mahalakshmi Metals. He has worked with 0.6% bentonite for achieving 1300 GCS. He initiated inoculation pipe system at Vishwakarma Foundry for late inoculation. He developed a Simo ductile iron at Muta Foundry, Satara. He achieved a best power consumption award from 650 kilowatts per ton to 550 kilowatts per ton. And he conducted many training programs in IIF, Belgaum chapter, Nagpur, and many southern region and other northern region foundries also. So now the floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Sandeep sir, you can carry on, sir.
Kulkarni sir.
So data is the outcome of all the processes during various activities. So whatever activities we are doing in the foundry, some of the other records or formats we filled, and through that we have data which is got generated. So the outcome of the all form of the record is called as the data. So whatever outcome is there from various stages we follow in the foundry, like molding or melting or fettling, everywhere we are filling some records, some formats, and that is converted into data. That is what the outcome is called as data. This data generated by various levels of the team, means it may be at operator level, it may be at supervisor level, it may be at manager level, it may be at accounts, it may be production, it may be quality, or various departments and various levels. And that all data is gathered, and it is either done manually or by automation. So there are two ways: one is manual, one is automation. by way of PLC or something like that. And sometimes we do the data entry by putting or writing the log sheets by pen or something like that. So normally all industries have enough data available with them, which is represent their process data, product data, and system data. So I have you can roughly consider it as a process data or product data or maybe a system data. So system data is something like we make for customer, for ISO, for IITF. Product data is related to customer mainly, related to your casting. Process data is your general process data you follow to convert input into output. So this is what is data. So this is a very important slide. I think this slogan itself is very impressive. What gets measured gets improved. So whatever we measure, it is only can be improved. If it doesn't measure anything, then it is very difficult to improve upon it because you don't know what is there actually. So जब तक हम उसको मेजर नहीं करेंगे इसको इम्प्रूव करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. So what gets measured gets improved. So this is very important. So that is why the data collection or capturing of data is very important. Once it is captured, we can do further processing. But if you do not capture the data, the processing is not possible because there is no data. You don't know what is happening actually. So unless and until you doesn't capture the data, it is very difficult for you or anybody to get improve upon that particular measurement or that particular you can say measurement. So measure what you cannot measure, you cannot improve. The same thing in a different manner. Whatever you doesn't measure, you can't improve on that. So this is very important to measure each and every aspect in the foundry. And that is why the foundry is very important because we all know that foundry has a lot of variables, lot of manual work. So it is very important to understand the importance of measuring. Any issue, sir? Hello.
Sir, we request everyone to keep your mic on mute, please. Requesting everyone to keep your mic on mute. Yeah, thank you. Sandeep sir, you can proceed, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So why data is required? So data is required because the gathered data you can use for taking decision or actions or for improvements in the process, product, and the system. So as I told you, whatever we can measure, it can be improved. So we have to gather the data to take a decision or action. Data, if not if gather the data and it is not used, then it is actually a waste because we spend lot of stuff. We all know that our supervisors, inspectors, everybody spend his time, his valuable time as well as efforts, and we pay for him. That is we also spend a lot of money to gather the data. But if it is gathered and it is not utilized properly in a proper manner, then it is all waste. So importance of data analysis is that whenever you gather some data, it is a powerful tool with you. That data is a powerful tool which can make a miracle by taking some actions on that and by effectively analyzing that and comparing that, and you can able to get some actions out of it, some improvements out of it, and some value addition can be done with the help of that data. So that is very important. Data analysis is the key to success, and it is the key for making the improvements. So this is what I feel. So if you analyze the data effectively, it can be give you good results. So here I will differentiate the things. First is you have to capture the data. You should have a data. Then you should have that data to be analyzed or seen, or it has been compared with some benchmarking. For example, you have a magnesium, residual magnesium, and you have a data that your residual magnesium is not 452, not 6. Then you have to understand what are the your benchmark internationally, nationally, in your city, in your MIDC, and also in your company. So you have to compare that along with. So if your magnesium, residual magnesium is not 4.5, and international level is maybe zero point 0.3, not 3, not 3.5. So there is a lot of difference in between you and your readings and the international level. So what you have to do, you have to understand that there is a difference and you have to take certain actions to overcome that difference. So what you can study what went wrong, why your magnesium is getting more, whether you are adding more magnesium or your magnesium recovery is better or you're taking less metal, and you all these things you have to analyze, and then you have to take certain actions or you have to arrive at certain action. All these things are teamwork. Here the teamwork is very important, because unless and until not only yourself but your teammate, your bottom line, all these people has to be involved in this process, and they have to take actions. They have to you can say brainstorm their ideas, and from that you can able to understand really what is going wrong, what is has to be improved, where you have to take action, and all based on that you can able to improve on that particular field. So this is how you have to analyze the data. So data analysis is nowadays become a special topic and special area for discussion, because everybody is talking about the data analysis, and this would lead to cost reduction, productivity improvement, and quality improvement. So analysis will help you to reduce your cost, improve your productivity, and also quality improvements. So it is always recommended to have data in the format where you can analyze it by using various tools like WH question, that is why, how, when, etc. Then Pareto, then filter and sorting and Excel sheet, ERP, SAP, etc. Here I will suggest you that whatever data you gather, if you gather in a soft format, that will be more useful, because uh, hard copies of the format or hard copy of the data will there is a data available with you, but you have to take additional extra efforts to convert that data into analysis. Because if you have a log sheet and in the log sheet you have suppose chemistry, suppose you have same what we discuss is residual magnesium, and then you have to make a trend chart, then you have to again take that data, put in the computer or Excel sheet, and then you have to make a graph. But if that all data is in either Excel or ERP or in SAP system, you can easily get directly converted into Excel format or graphs, and your efforts of analyzing those data will be reduced. So your time, your efforts, your fatigue will be reduced, and you will get better results by using that data. If it is hard, it is like you can say it is a dead data. I remember one of the ERP manufacturer visited our company few years back at Mahalakshmi Metal, and we were discussing about the ERP system and everything. And after that discussion, what happened? He asked for the process which we are following for data gathering right now. So we very happily put a heap of heap of log sheets in front of him, and he just go through that log sheet and he laugh at us, and he told us that give me a average of carbon in last 1 month in 10 minutes. It was not possible, because you have to take all the log sheets, you have to take the carbon reading, you have to put in the Excel. So he said this data is okay, you have a data, but this data is dead data. You can't use it for the analysis. And that is on that day we decided that we will not go for any more hard data, any more paperwork. And as in the introduction also he told that I have built up a good system in Mahalakshmi Metal. We have a paperless foundry. We don't have a single paper on for anything. Even planning up to invoice, everything was used by ERP and Excel, and by using emails. So that paperless data or this kind of soft work in the data will help you to reduce your fatigue and your efforts to analyze the data, and you will get better results out of it. So I always prefer that if you have to gather the data, try to make it in a soft as possible as possible, as long as possible, because it will help you in a long term. So this is what the importance of soft format of the data. Next one is in the foundry, we have a lot of data, but we did not use it effectively to get a value addition. As I told you, right from your gate entry up to invoices, you have a lot of data being generated every day. And this data is being kept in the, we can say, shelf or in the your cupboards, but you are not using it properly for betterment of the foundry or the value addition of the foundry, for cost reduction, for improvement in the productivity, improvement in the quality. And because of that, we are not able to get real value addition through that data. So this is very important that we should utilize that data in a proper manner to understand the areas of improvement and to get real value addition to that. So we gather it or keep it in a say for the sake of audit. This is what normally happens because we fill the format, we have a data for the sake of audit, either ISO audit or IITF audit or customer audit, and we show just to them whenever they ask it, but we are not utilizing it. We have to understand that this data is generated not for auditors, not for customers. This data is generated for ourselves, for our improvement, for our betterment. And that has to be implemented by the top management, basically, because it is the role of top management. It is top to bottom driven activity. If top management doesn't understand the importance of the data analysis, the bottom line will not understand it. They will not do it. So you have to take an initiative to initiate this data analysis and and the improvement part of it. And if you have taken that initiative, definitely your bottom line will help you or support you in implementing it. So here we'll be taking some of the areas where we can do this activity. I am just going through that in the later slides, and we'll work on some of the areas how we can analyze it actually. So data should be. This is very important. The data should speak to you. Normally, what happens? We have a data, but we doesn't have proper communication with the data. That what I use is data should speak to you. Any data if you have seen, it should start speaking with you what he's and you should able to understand what he's trying to tell you, because data is telling you something every day, every minute, or every format, but you have to understand what he is trying to tell you, and from that you have to take actions and improvements. So data interpretation is very important. This is one of the biggest important factor in data analysis, that you should understand what is data interpretation. You should able to interpret the data properly, because data is there, you are there. Improvements can be happen only if you interpret it properly and get a proper inputs from that particular data. If doesn't get that inputs from that data, it is very difficult for you to improve upon the things. And that is why it is very important that you should understand that what data is saying. You should able to understand what data is trying to tell you, and you should able to interpret the data. So these are the sources of the data. There is log sheet is there, PLC and SCADA system is there, sensors is there. Then you have ERP system, you have laboratory data, you have inspection reports. So all these data will give you some inputs. Objective of data analysis. What are the objective of data analysis? Why we required data analysis? Yeah. So number one is reduce casting defect. So one of the most important factor that helps you is a casting defect, reduction in the rejection, reduction in the customer complaint is very important. And for that, data analysis is very important, because whenever you got any defect or any you're working on any rejection analysis, what you looking for? You're looking for a process data. You're looking for a temperature, chemistry, pouring time, sand properties, all these things. So this is nothing but a data. That data will already have some inputs in it. Just you have to understand from that data what he is trying to say, and from that you have to take the actions. Improve yield and quality. This is another important factor that can be achieved through data analysis by improving the yield and the quality of the casting. Predict equipment failure, that is predictive maintenance. Optimize raw material. So optimize raw material means you have to optimize your charge mix, because your charge mix cost, that is the melting cost, is very important. And by using proper data analysis, you can reduce your melting cost by optimizing your charge mix. Use enhanced process consistency. Track operator performance. You can able to track the operator performance. Improve productivity. Your log sheet will say the timing of each heat. So by using that, what is the difference between your targeted heat time and actual heat time? What is the gap there? Why that gap was there? Any downtime or any resource requirement? So you can understand all these things and you can take action on that for the improvement of the productivity. Improve capacity utilization. By improving capacity utilization, it means you have to understand the efficiency of machine, man, and material, everything. So capacity is not only a machine, it's a man, it's a method, it's a manpower, everything is involved in the capacity utilization. So you can able to do that as well by using data analysis. Tools and technology used. So various tools we can use. One of them tool is Excel sheet, then statistical tools like you can say Pareto or all these things. Then machine learning, AI, Industry 4.0 is coming up. So you can get a lot of data from your equipment directly, which has been converted to your Excel sheet or your ERP system, and you can use that data for the analysis. So all these tools and techniques are available for data analysis. Benefits achieved. So what are the benefits? One of the important benefits is low rejection. You can reduce the rejection. You can improve the customer satisfaction. You can have a higher OE, that is overall equipment efficiency. Just I told you last slide that you have to work on your capacity utilization. Then you have cost saving in terms of material, energy, and labor cost. Then better decision making can be done by using this data analysis. So your decision making become more effective and efficient. Challenges in implementation. This is very important slide, I feel, because this is the hurdle we can say, because these challenges is the biggest hurdle in data analysis, and why we are not doing it because of this only. One of the important factors challenges implementation is data accuracy and availability. As I told you, availability is most of the time is there, because nowadays people are being so keen, and they have been educated for this. So there is a lot of data availability is there in most of the foundries. Those foundries which are very small, they had to work on that definitely. But most of the time, data is available. But another important factor is the data accuracy. So data accuracy is also very important, because data accuracy, because we are taking some decisions, some actions on that. So data should be accurate. It should be factual. So data factuality is very important. You have to verify that whatever data you are getting, it should be factual and accurate. Unless it is not factual and accurate, you can't take any actions on the data. So the data accuracy is very important. The next one is the resistance to the change, because once you have to take a decision, you have to take some actions for data analysis. You need to change your culture. You have to change your process. You have to not process, but you have to change your culture, and you have to change some methodology. So that resistance is there from your bottom line most of the time. So you have to work on that. That resistance you have to cut off, and because any change is always, people are rigid. Not they are not very happy to accept that change. But the as you all say, I'll know that the only constant in the world is the change. So you have to understand that, and you have to be prepared for all the changes. Then lack of skill is another very important challenge in implementation of data analysis. Just few slides back, I told you how to have good interpretation skills of the data. So that skill has to be required. So that interpretation skill has to be developed. The next one is capturing the data. So you have to capture the data. As I told you, your data is available. You have to capture that data, and that too in a soft format will be very helpful. The recollectability of the data and factualness, and as I told earlier also, factualness of the data. So these are the challenges. You have to overcome these challenges, because unless and until you overcome these challenges, you are not able to uh, get properly into data analysis, and you're not able to enjoy the benefits of the data analysis. Well, future trends. What are the future trends? One of the biggest feature change is AI, that is the artificial intelligence and the productive maintenance. Then digital foundries is another going to be a future trend, because we are seeing green foundries. Now we are looking for a digital foundry where you can see everything on a digital platform. Then real time dashboards and alerts will be there. So if anything happen immediately on the second, on the same moment, you will get some notification or something on your mobile or your screen. So screen time will be more in future. So real time dashboards and alerts will be there. So smart casting and adaptive process control should be there. Then automation in each sector of the foundry. As I told earlier, we have only a high pressure line. Somebody saying high pressure line will say, oh, he has a high pressure line. We'll feel something is new like that. But now if you say, see right from the beginning of the, you can say pattern making, there is a automation, there is a lot of new technologies arrived, robots are there, then 3D printing has came, then core also you have seen 3D printing and automation is came, dosing is there. In furnaces from cupola, we turn to induction furnaces. As I told you, in high pressure line also came in the molding. Pouring, we have been using hand stack earlier, then ladles, and now we are going for auto pour and press pour. So there is a lot of changes and automation happening in each sector of the foundry. So you have to be ready for all these changes, all these, we can say, new skills has to be adopted, new challenges have to be adopted. And this is why we need to understand the importance of these future trends, because things will going to change. The person who will respond to that will remain in the market, and the person who will not respond to that will be vanished. Just we know the version that will say uh, survival for the fittest. So what we have to understand is we have to adopt these changes to the automation. This is very important. Start small and think big. Because when someone will say that I don't have automation right now, I don't have a skill for data analysis, but you have to start somewhere. You have to start with a smaller thing. And then once you start it and you practice it, you get the results, your team will get familiar with that, and slowly they will adopt these things, and then you can able to think big. But somewhere we have to start small and then think big. This is very, very important. As I told you, data is nothing but a money. Will not consider right now data as a money, but you have to consider data as a money, because give you a lot of inputs and lot of improvement points. So whatever data you gather, it is nothing but a money. You have to understand that in the form of money. Capture data is equal to save or earn money. So whatever data you get capture, that is nothing but saving or earning of a money. So that is why data analysis and capturing of data is very important. Effective data analysis. So we'll see the few areas where improvements can be done by using data analysis, and I hope you will understand it. So let us start with this practical thing. We can say it's a first we can go to the melting shop. So where and how we can do this data analysis in the melting shop. So let us start with the melting shop. So first important document in the foundry is a log sheet. I think log sheet is the most important document in the foundry. And if it is in a shop, it will give you a miracle. If it is hard, as I told you earlier, it is like a dead data because you have to get all those things from that and you have to convert it into the soft again and then you can analyze it. But in the if it is in soft, definitely it will give you a lot of benefits. So let us understand what log sheet can be do. So first, the first important thing is your material consumption. If you go through your daily material consumption, you can understand what is the trend. Or for that, you have to analyze two things. One is what is your data consumption, and secondly, what is your chemical composition of the finals. For example, I am taking an example of copper. If you have a pouring FG 200, 260 or 300 grade, and your copper requirement is 0.3 to 0.4%. So your requirement is 0.3 to 0.4%. And if you see in the log sheet, the copper is in the range of 0.37 or 0.38 to 0.45. So if it is going above 4.4, which is your say higher specification, if it is going 0.45, then it is not useful for you and not useful for the customer. It is generally a waste. So you have to understand that by using trend chart or daily, you can able to see what is the maximum copper you are using, what is the minimum copper you have used, what is the average. And based on that, if you understand that your people are keeping the copper on the higher side and your hardness is also on higher side. So you have a little bit opportunity or little bit chance that you can reduce that copper. So by using all this data analysis, you can go back to your shop floor and tell them to keep it as the middle or from low to middle. So that will reduce your copper consumption. That will help you to reduce your cost. At the same time, you will also get the desired hardness also. So this is how you can able to use your material consumption data and your chemical composition to optimize your charge mix and as optimize your alloy additions. Similarly, you can do for the optimization of charge mix. What is the boring percentage used? What is the pig iron percentage used? What is the RR percentage used? This is general scenario that if your yield is 70%, that means you are generating around 30% of runner risers and your rejection is say 5%. So around 35% is your in-house scrap generation. And then if your person is using 25% of home scrap, then it's a crime because you are not utilizing that full 35% to the actual melting. So 10% whatever remaining is either in the stock or they are using for some other grade. So this is how your melting cost will increase, number one. And number two, it will also hamper your cash flow because you are purchasing the material by taking the immediate money to the supplier or 30 per 30 days money to the supplier and you are utilizing not utilizing your internal scrap, it is keeping there. So instead of using that scrap where you have already invested the money, you are not using that scrap and you are using the scrap which is outside, which has been brought out or it has been purchased by giving the money. So it will help only to disturb your cash flow. So this is how you can understand these things and use these kind of intimations or data analysis to improve your charge mix optimization. Next is your power consumption. Power consumption is another important factor. If you understand the power consumption, it can be done in many ways, but what normally we do wrong is we take the average of the day because average of the day will not tell you the whole story. Average of the day say is 590, and you are happy that your power consumption is 590. It is not beyond 600. You are very happy with that. But the story, real story is different. Real story is out of 20 hits, 15 hits are poured in 560, and 5 hits are poured around 620. So you have to understand this data, and then you can able to understand why this 62 620 has happened. Because of molds are not available, because of late addition of the scrap, or scrap quality is not good, manpower is not available, or power off, or certain breakdowns. Then you can able to take actions on that 620, and slowly you can reduce that 620 into 560, and then overall your average will reduce to 570 or 565. So this is the magic of the data. If you understand, that is why I told you interpretation of data is very important. How you have to arrange the data in a proper manner, and that is very a skillful job. It will take some time, it will take some skills, but after that you will understand the importance of that. And because of after using this kind of skills, you can able to get miracle results in the, you can say, data analysis. So next one is process data for rejection, because this log sheet data is very important for rejection also. Because whatever rejection parts are there, whenever you go for any actions, any corrective actions, you have to understand that what was the temperature, what was the pouring time, what was the pouring temperature, what was the first box, what was the last box. Then you have to understand these other parameter like sand. So this all this process data is important in rejection analysis. So this data analysis help you in taking the actions on the rejections and the quality issues. The next one is capacity utilization. As I told you, in the log sheet, again, the similar kind of thing, what happens with the power consumption, your 70% hits are within the time, say 45 minutes, but balance 25% hits takes more time. It may be 60 minutes, it may be 70 minutes, it may be 55 minutes. Then you have to analyze those hits, why those are late. Either it's a shift change time, no load available, or any late addition of the alloys or scrap, or any more issues like maintenance breakdown. All these things you have to analyze in detail, and then you can able to understand why this 65 minutes or what is 75 minutes. Once you attack on those things, slowly those 65 70 minutes hits are into the, we can say, 45 50 minutes, and overall your capacity utilization will get improved. So this is how you can utilize this melting data to get betterment in the analysis. Next one is your melting shop. So next one is the melting shop. In the, you can utilize this data. I was already told that this data can be used for optimization of rejection, and also helpful for taking the improvements. And I think one more thing what I want to say is most of the time whenever we analyze the data, whenever we working on some data analysis, what we do, as I told you in the earlier also, that we try to compare it. And there are various ways of comparing, like there is a benchmarking with the international standard, or we can say Indian standard, then your state standard, your MRDC standard, your own company standard. So benchmarking is on levels, lot of levels are there. So whenever you are being into the comparison level, you have to understand, or you must know what is the international level, what is the industry level of benchmarking, but do not try to compare them with them initially, because it will just give you uh, what you say. uh, it will make you unhappy, because your reading and the actual reading will be, lot of difference will be there, and they will be thinking that how it can be reduced, how that gap can be breached. And it is then, once you think like that, it is very difficult to take action. So Do not compare it. Try to make small improvements. That is why I put a slide that start small, think big. You have to start taking small actions. If today your power consumption is say 630 and you know the benchmark internationally is 560, 570, but do not understand, do not get pressurized by the 70 kWh unit gap. Try to make 530, you try to make it 520, make 510, then make uh, sorry 630, 610, then 600, then 590. Slowly, step by step, you just try to implement your smaller actions, and you can able to get little bit better results. And once you get the results, you will also motivated, you will also get encouraged, your team will get encouraged, and slowly you can able to make better version of yourself. That is what I want to say. Make every day a better version of yourself. That is very important, because just trying to copy somebody will not help you. Just try to understand what is going wrong in your company and try to improve it small way every day, and try to make every day a new version of yourself. That is will help you to improve and get real effectiveness of data analysis. So this is another melting like data like metal return back to furnace. That is also very important data return back to furnace, which it will directly have an impact on your power consumption as well as your capacity utilization. Temperature tips consumption is a small thing. Temperature tip consumption. We say 5 readings per tip, and you are taking around 2 or 3 readings in a pouring, 1 or 2 readings in a tapping. So one heat is equal to one tip. And if you check it at the end of the month, you find it 1.5. So where is that 0.5 excess? Why? So you have to understand this by properly analyzing it day by day or ship by ship, and then you can able to get control over these things. So this is very important. Understand this and take actions on that. So carbon cup consumption, similar thing. 1 cup is equal to 1 heat. So it may be maximum 1.1 or 1.2. So you have to understand that benchmarking also while making the data analysis. You have to some figure in your hand for the comparison. Whenever you are going for data analysis, you just cannot get only your data. You have to compare with something, but do not take that pressure of comparing. Do not take that pressure of the gap between your reading and the standard reading. It may be more, but do not worry about it. Try to understand the factuality. Try to understand why it is there in your company. Try to improve upon that by taking small steps, and then definitely will observe some good improvements in your fund. Melting and good casting weights, because when weights are not properly maintained, it will give a lot of big things. Yield factor will affect it because your bunch weights are not right properly given. In one of the foundry, I remember I was doing the consultancy, and they are showing their agent yield was 85%, and I was surprised. When I actually go into the detail, what I find is the bunch weights were not updated properly, and the actual yield was around 69%. So these kind of miracles or this kind of havoc can happen if you have the wrong data. But data is good if it is factual. Data is very bad if it is not factual. It will take you to the misguide. It will misguide you, and the actions will be totally wrong. What you assume will be totally wrong. So that is very important that your data should be factual. Someone has to verify it twice or thrice before we take any action on any data. So that is very important. Next one is the charge material quantity and tap out material. So charge material quantity and tap out material, it will give you burning loss. So what is your burning loss? That will also contribute to your metal cost, contribute to your capacity utilization, power consumption of costly alloy. Just we discussed on the copper few minutes back. downtime detail everywhere we talk about downtime whenever we talk about the data analysis, because your heat time, your power consumption will directly affected because of this downtime. So why downtime? What type of downtime? Any efforts to reduce that? All these things will come through the data analysis. In the molding and sand plan, you can optimize the sand additive addition. This is another very important factor. Your bentonite addition, your cold bond addition, that can be optimized by using data analysis. So how? Uh, you can measure it daily basis, whatever bentonite you are consuming, that you can measure on daily basis by through PLC or through various aspects. And then you have to understand what are your active clay and what is your GCS. So say, for example, you have 1.2% of bentonite you are using right now, and your active clay is 9.7%. Your GCS is around say 1450. Then you can easily understand that your active clay is on the higher side, your GCS is on the higher side. So why we are using so much of bentonite? So why not to reduce it little bit? So by reducing by 100 grams or 200 grams slowly, you can able to achieve desired GCS and active clay and reduce bentonite in your specified range. And by using this way, you can reduce your cost. You can have a better control on your cost. So your consumption, additive consumption will go down and your molding cost will be reduced. So this is how you can optimize your sand additive. So based on the molding report, you can understand the pattern change time. This is another very important time, because most of the time we change the number of patterns, and the time required for changing the pattern is very huge some of the time. So if that time is high, what will happen? Your molding will be low and your melting will remain waiting for the molds. Your metal will remain waiting for the molds, because there is a gap between two patterns because of pattern change. So you have to understand that by using your log sheet, by using the mold to mold time. So at what time you have put the pattern on, at what time you remove the pattern, and what time your next pattern started. So time between your pattern removed and pattern started, it should be measured properly and it should be analyzed by using your proper way. I remember in one of the company we have done this experiment, and it was around 40 minutes almost for the pattern change, and we reduced it up to 6 to 7 minutes for the pattern change. And there are the foundries in Kolhapur, we are changing the pattern within 1.5 to 2 minutes. They have made their certain systems, and I think this video is already on YouTube also, so you can go and see that video as well. They have make the proper system. So how they can use that? How it happens? Because they have analyzed the data. They have analyzed the data properly, that understand the importance of that, and then they have taken the action. Another important factor is mold breakage. Mold breakage, we doesn't give much importance to that as well. But whatever mold breakage is there, we are losing the capacity. Molding capacity has been wasted. And that molding capacity, whatever we are wasting, is directly hampering your melting capacity. So this is very important, that mold breakage should be avoided. So here also, you have to understand mold breakage is there. Suppose A pattern is there and it is 100 molds are been molded, out of which 95 molds are okay and 5 molds are broken. Then you have to understand why those 5 molds are been broken. We say only 5 molds are broken, 5% is the mold breakage. But why? Out of that 5 molds, what is the reason? So if you go into the deep of all these things, definitely we'll understand the reasons, we'll understand the issues behind that, and you can able to take the action to reduce it and to get the effectiveness. And that is why I told you data analysis is not a person job, it's a teamwork. Everybody in the team has to involved get involved in the activity and put his efforts and put his full knowledge and experience to overcome all these issues. Another important thing is bad batches. Bad batches on sand mixing is another important factor which has been ignored most of the time. We doesn't even have the data for that. But you have to understand and get that data, capture that data, and analysis why the bad batches. Because of moisture, because of gradient is low, because of the any other reasons for the maintenance or for the sand properties. So you have to understand the reason behind the bad batches. Most of the time, it is what I understand is moisture. Most of the time. So you have to understand this, and based on that, you have to work on your process. You have to work on your flow. You have to work on the equipment efficiency, and by using all these factors, you can able to get proper results to those actions, and you will get more efficient working for that equipment. In the pouring also, we see lot of things like pouring time, treatment time, that is how many time you have been pouring for that particular treatment or for that particular ladle. Then pouring time for the box. If you are pouring any box, what is the pouring time? It may be 13 second, 11 second, 10 second. What is desired? How to maintain it? That has to be analyzed. Temperature for the first box and last box, that can be analyzed as well, because you have given certain specification, and based on these results you can change your tapping temperature, because your tapping temperature is the reason why you are getting first box and last box temperature. Second important factor is your ladle condition, whether it is red hot or not, because it will give you certain results. So you have to work on that as well. There's spillages on the boxes. Whatever spillages you are finding on the boxes, you have to work on that. And if you have been working on that, whatever spillage you have been seeing, then definitely you are able to convey it and convey it to the person who have been pouring. Because if he doesn't know how much spillage I'm making, how much metal I'm wasting, then only he can able to improve. If he doesn't know anything, then he will continue doing that same thing for the years and years. For this, we have taken one trial at one. In one of the foundry, what we did, we were having 500 kg metal, and we are pouring through 250 from the ladles. And there are two operators. And I see a lot of metal been wasted there on the boxes. So what I told the supervisor, that make a simple board in the pouring area and put their names A and B operator. And after every pouring, what they have to do, the pouring person has to go and use a magnet and collect the spillage and weigh it and write down on that particular board. So A person have 20 kg spillage, B person has 15 kg spillage. So like that, they have to measure, weigh, and put write down on the board. So what happened, that how make a lot of we can say emotional or effect on the person, because the name is there and before his name the weight is written. So whose weight is more, he was supposed to be criticized by other workers, that your wastage is more, or he also feel that my wastage is more. So he tried to reduce that wastage, and slowly that percentage goes down. It is not become zero. I'm not expecting to become zero. It may become zero, but you try to send it to zero at least. You should be able to reduce that to whatever extent you can do that. Next one is your core shop. So core shop, it is very important area again for the data analysis. Lot of data is generated in core shop. your resin percentage, your amine, then your core breakages, core weight, cycle time of the core box, core making, then also the painting, the viscosity, scratch hardness, all this data is there. You have to understand that data, you have to analyze that data and try to improve upon it. For example, percentage of resin and amine. Say example is percentage of resin. You are using around cold box, you are using 1.2% of resin and 1.2% A part and 1.2% B part. Then you have to understand what is your scratch hardness. If it is scratch hardness is more, you can reduce it. Similarly, you can work on your sand distribution, AFS of the sand, the weight, you can say dryness of the sand. What is the moisture level in the sand? What is the clay percentage in the sand? And or if you can able to work on all these things, definitely you can able to reduce the percentage of resin. So if you take a project of percentage of resin to be reduced, what you need to do, you have to put all these parameters in front of you. So what are the parameters that can hamper or that can directly affect the percentage of resin? And then slowly one by one you have to work on, because you already have some data with you. So you have to compare that data, work on that data, and try to improve so that your percentage of resin can be reduced. Similarly, core breakages. The reasons for the core breakages has to be mentioned, has to be monitored, and based on that, you have to work on that. Similarly, core cycle time. Core cycle time is a very crucial thing because it directly affects your core core capacity, core shop capacity, and if you work on that, it will definitely help you to improve your core productivity and core capacity. Quality. Quality is another very important, uh, you can say, area where you can do a lot of data analysis. One of the important is your foundry rejection itself. If your foundry rejection, you can analyze top 10. Here, everything is data, and you have already doing a lot of analysis there. You are analyzing for top 10 parts, top 3 or top 5 defects. In that part also, you are analyzing top 3 defects. On the basis of that, you are taking actions. Similarly, machine shop and customer end rejection also, you are doing the same thing. So already you are doing a lot of work in the foundry in rejection or quality, in fact, for the data analysis. Similarly, reward cost of core quality that can be analyzed in a proper way. As I told you, for analyzing, you have to first gather the data, but to understand what are the areas affecting those things. Then you have to write down those things. You have to call a team. You have to have a brainstorming. And from the brainstorming, you will emerge a lot of ideas. You will get a lot of ideas from the people, lot of new things, lot of new improvement from the people. And then you have to select few which are more important, or which you feel that those are having uh, more important and more effectiveness on the particular thing. Then you have to take action on those, and then you can able to understand what is the effectiveness of your action. If effectiveness is good, definitely whatever analysis you have done is right. If the effectiveness is not good, your analysis is somewhere missed out. You have to rethink on data analysis again. You have to gather all the data again. You have to rethink, evaluate the things, and then next action can help you in improving. So this is how you can do this data analysis. Similarly, purchase. This is another important area. Raw material prices. You are all knowing the raw material prices fluctuation is always there. Based on that, you can have second or multiple sources so that your cost can be reduced. Inventory levels, you can monitor your inventory levels by using data analysis, and raw material fluctuations can be also analyzed. Maintenance, as I told you already, breakdown is very important, productive Preventive and proactive maintenance is also important. Here also a lot of data is required. Equipment data is very important because most of the time we do not have equipment data, because equipment data will tell you the history of that particular equipment, and it will guide you when to change or when to replace the equipment. If you don't have that data, you will not able to understand. So when to change, because sometimes it is a very good thing to change the equipment, because it will give you better results than being rotating in the problematic equipment. For example, your power consumption is very high, your furnace is old, and productivity is less, your downtime is more. It's always better to go for new equipment, and you can able to enjoy the good power consumption, good productivity, less maintenance, less downtime. Your capacity utilization will be improved. So it's always better. So production lost value. Normally we understand production lost time. That is a breakdown. But the value of that time is also important, because we know the we can understand the language of money, because if you are going to the shop floor and you find the core is been lying there in the shop floor, will not going to lift it, because you are saying, oh, that is the core, I will go. But when some will tell you that this is not a core, it is 50 rupees, because that core costs 50 rupees for the company, for the owner, for your company. So if you say it is a 50 rupees, then it immediately will go down and lift that core and keep it in a proper way. Just like we see the note lying on the road and we immediately take it and put it in our pocket. Similarly, so you have to talk in the language of value, money, rupees, so that people will understand it in a better way, and they will also able to get more effectiveness. Machine and equipment condition evaluation. That is that I already told you that if it is not in a proper way, it is always better to replace an old and inefficient equipment. Marketing, orders in hand, capacity utilization, PO weight, actual weight. So this is very important, PO versus actual weight. You have certain weight of PO from your customer, but your actual weight is something different. And if your weight is 2 kg in the PO and you are giving the casting of 2.5 kg to the customer, means you are 500 kg material you are giving free of cost to the customer, and it will definitely have a big impact on your bottom line. You have to understand that, and for that the data is very important. You have to measure the casting weight every day, every batch, and you have to analyze it, or you have to compare it with your PO weight. So for that again, soft data is very important, because hard data again you are capturing data in a notebook, then you will go to the some PO file and you see the PO weight and this weight, and then you compare. If you have a soft data, you can make an Excel sheet, or you can ask that ERP person to give a direct report, and that will help you to get better results. Your efforts will be reduced, and you will get more efficient results as well. Per kg price or weight. That is what I told you, pure weight versus actual weight. If your pure cost per kg is suppose 80 rupees, and because of higher weight it goes to 75 kg rupees per kg, so it will have a big impact. So per kg contribution or profit, then your overheads has to be work out on a you can say quarterly basis or monthly basis, whatever is possible for you. And based on that analysis, you can able to understand how I can able to reduce the overheads and fixed cost and improve my profitability. Similarly, development, as I told, it is very important to understand RFQ convert into orders. Number of RFQs are coming, but how much or how many are being converted into orders, and why? So 50 came, 50 RFQ came, and just 10 been converted, 40 not converted. Why? Because of your costs were higher, or your box size was not adequate, you don't have the infrastructure for that, or you don't have a capacity for that, you don't have a core making facility. Whatever are the reasons, or RFQ not converted into orders. And that analysis has to be done on regular basis. And based on that, you can get some inputs for your expansion, for your improvements, for your future plans, so that you can able to increase your conversion rate. First time right, whenever you make the development, what is the first time right ratio? Why it is not 100%? What went wrong? So next time you can improve on that particular area and give a better results to the customer, because first time right is a very pride thing for any foundry, and customer will definitely appreciate it. So next one is a very important factor, that is the lead time in the development. Whatever lead time we say 4 weeks to 6 weeks or 8 weeks to 10 weeks, whether we are adhered to that. If it is not, why? What was the reason? So all this data, again, everywhere data is required. Everywhere we are capturing the data, and all this data has to be properly analyzed to get the results, to get the improvements. Next important factor is the targeted versus actual. It may be yield, it may be core weight, it may be casting weight, it may be bunch weight. All these things we have been imagined while quoting. But what is the actual when we produce the casting, or our sample is been approved at that time? What is the actual? What was the target and what is the actual? Is there increase or decrease? If it is beneficial or it is been downwards. If it is beneficial, it's always good. If it is downward, you have to again work on that particular thing and improve it. Because if it is not improved, then you will be doing it in a loss, because you have already make certain assumptions while giving the cost to the customer. If it is more now, then your cost will be more and you will not get that money from the customer. So you have to work on that. Initial sample rejection train before handing to the production, hand out to the production, you have to work on this initial sample rejection trend. It should be within your range. Maybe initially we can say 3 to 5% is your rejection percentage, whatever you have assumed. You have to understand that whatever rejection is there, it should be between 3 to 5%. If it is more, you have to work on that rejection trend. You have to reduce it, and then only you can hand over that part to your production team. So this is from my side. I think I have covered most of the points. Once again, before I complete, I will like to give some inputs. One of them important input is data is everything. Data is money. Remember, data must be factual and consistent. Before using data, make sure 2 times, 3 times that whatever data you are using is actual and is right data, it is correct data, it is not been manipulated. This is very important. Most of the time you get lot of data which has been manipulated, and if you use that data, your actions, your analysis will go wrong, and it will give a very not desirable result, that is very drastic results, and you will be in trouble. So this is second thing, that your data should be factual. Number three, when you capture the data, try to compare it with something, maybe some benchmarking, and then try to improve on that. For that, what your gap is there, you have to understand why that gap is there. You have to go into the deep, and you have to write down the various reasons or various factors affecting it. Call the team for that, make a brainstorming, take their suggestions, they take their guidelines, they take their ideas, and best ideas you take it for the improvement. And after implementation or improvement, you check the effectiveness of that. So this is a data analysis. Data is very important. You have to go for that. Again, last but not least, whatever data you gather, try to make it in a soft, either maybe in Excel, ERP, or SAP system, but it will help you to do the analysis in a better way, more faster, more effectively, more effortless, and anybody can do that most of the time. If you have a hard data, you have to little bit hard work you have to take on that to analyze it. So this is from my side. I think I have tried to cover most of the points. If any questions, please ask.
Thank you, sir. It's very comprehensive. I think you have touched upon all the areas and the importance of the data. Members, if you have any queries, you can shoot it now. I think due to the time, maybe we'll extend it for another 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes max. Yeah. Any queries?
Yes, sir. Swami Babu myself.
Sorry, sir.
Swami Babu myself, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Any specific backend, any particular tools used, any data was not given, all text was there mentioned, but any specific example of it or any specific backend used here, Excel sheet. Excel sheet we cannot do like regression analysis or response optimizers, something like that. Because many foundries we are facing this shortage of backup data. There is no linkage to the end result to the back end process data. All either it is post-mortem or it is dead live. Never we get into the live data. How to? Is there any specific example can we get? Just a glimpse of it. Like
Sir,
lead
can
time
you repeat the
dashboard.
question for me because I'm having echo, so I'm not able to understand it properly, sir.
No, sir. Any specific tool that you have used as a dashboard or Tableau or something like that in this case to address this lead development time or marketing plan what you have or casting rates because these are huge numbers. Is there any specific sampling plan you have or
Dashboard?
is there any dashboard you use it for the identification of this backward data?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dashboard is always useful because whenever you whatever normally what happens, data is in a spread format, and very important for during the analysis is to summarize it in a simple way so that you can able to understand it in a proper way. So, for example, dashboard you have various types of dashboard. For example, I am using MI's dashboard for liquid metal, good casting, dispatch, sales, yield. Similarly, for what you say development you can use these things like first time right. What is the percentage of first time right? What is the percentage of RFQ convert into orders? What is your average lead time? What is your
Okay.
development rejection percentage? What are the projects in the development right now? So all these things can be summarized in a proper way in a dashboard, and it can be used to report the management because top management will not see your whole log sheet or your whole data.
Correct.
So that is why
Correct.
dashboard plays a very important role. I think this point has been missed by me. So thank you for reminding it.
Yeah.
So dashboard plays an
And
important role here in
so,
analysis.
secondly, when we do backward data, by the time we produce some numbers and it goes up to machining feedback may take few months or few weeks. By the time our backup data has no linkage to that final rejection analysis actually.
Okay.
By the
You're
time
talking
we
about
produce
development.
already another set of batches.
You're talking about development, correct?
Yes, development
Okay.
or running quality issues.
Turning call issue. Okay. Here we do trial data sheet, use of trial data sheet,
Okay,
or
okay.
feedback sheet, where we suppose some problem is there. We can say a problem that is the series part which having some rejection or customer complaint. We have taken a trial. So trial of 20 numbers been taken. So out of which what is the foundry rejection? How many numbers we sent to the machine shop, and from machine shop how many numbers been machined, and okay numbers and rejected numbers and the analysis. And based on that we take the further action. For the backup of this, we keep all the process data in a trial data sheet. For example, what was my chemistry, what was my charge mix, what was my sand properties, what was pouring time, what was the pouring temperature. All these process parameter been kept as a backend on the trial data sheet, and it is been backed up with the feedback sheet. So once any issues is there, we compare both the things. If issues there, what was my process parameters, and now what is the issue? Suppose there is a blowhole, and we can see in the our process sheet, our magnesium is suppose 0.5, 0.0558 or 0.06. Then you can understand one of the reason may be the magnesium, or our moisture was 3.7% or 3.5%. Then we have to work on that, or our that particular heat got holded because of some reason. So we take the actions on that, and next trial will be conducted. So similarly, we keep the tracking of quantity and the process both till end.
Okay. So the integration part is sometimes each island of information is never integrated. Then each island like melting, then molding, then sand plant. These
Correct.
three sometimes remains at their own desk. The information never get linked.
That is why I use the word trial data sheet, and that
Acha, okay.
responsibility goes to development, because whenever you are taking, you are absolutely right, because everybody is working isolatedly in their areas. Because melting person has to do his heats, molding person has to make their
Right.
molds and their patterns. Sand person has to give the sand, and they are doing their own way. The person, the development person or development assistant will go everywhere. Whenever that mold is being prepared, he will ask that sand person what was the moisture level, what is the GCS,
Yeah.
permeability, compactability, write down. You go to the melting
That
person,
SOP he will follow, right?
but it can be happen only in case of the trials. It is not possible for the
Okay.
overall production. You are absolutely right. That
Right.
integration, overall integration is very difficult in the foundry. That is why the foundry is a challenging job. And that is why the
Right. Right.
rejection levels are always higher in foundry line. It is not in PPM most of the time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And for that, we are trying to do the automation. What you will say may not be a picture in next 10 years, because whatever mixer you are using, whatever machines you are using, furnace you are using, everywhere IoT will be there in future. And on every
Okay.
minute, you will get all the data in single line. That 10, 15, what was the sand properties, what was the mold, what was the metal.
Ah,
And in
yes,
one
yes.
line, you will get that data maybe in 10 or 15 years. But for that, you have to make your own mindset for change.
Got
And
it.
you have
Got
to
it.
put money. Money. That is also very important. It is nothing is free. Nothing is free.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
clear.
Thank you. I hope I given your answer.
Clear. Clear. Clear.
Sir, any other question?
I really apologize for the disturbance and the sound issue.
It's okay, sir. It's
I
clear.
No
hope
issue,
it
sir.
Clear
was
No
for
it
me.
was clear then after.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I'm Sandeep.
Yeah.
It will be helpful if you share templates which you use for collecting these data.
Pardon?
It will be helpful if you share the templates, soft copy
Yes,
templates
your
to
presentation.
collect
No?
the data.
I will share
Yes,
that.
sir.
I will share
Okay,
to
okay, sir.
Senthil Kumar, and he will share to you. No wish, no
Right,
issue.
right. Okay, sir.
Nothing is
Thank you, sir.
confidential there.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
In
Thank you
fact,
very much.
it can be more interactive if I add more slides on the various actions I have taken. But it will be very vast, or 3 hours or 4 hours topic. So that is
Right,
why
right,
I
sir.
avoided that actually.
Right, sir. Exactly. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, this is Pragdish. Actually, we are
Yes,
calling from Coimbatore. Can we get these
Yeah.
presentations through IIF Coimbatore or Chennai chapter region?
Sir, this is getting recorded, sir. It will be hosted in our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it, sir. Maybe in a week or 10 days time, it will get hosted, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, noted, sir.
You can refer it at the time. Yeah.
Sure, sir, sure. You also get a lot of videos on YouTube channel if you go to Dynamic Foundry Group.
Yeah, I forgot to inform.
You
In
can
fact,
find
Mr.
lot
Sandeep
of
Kulkarni is
topics are
running a
there.
YouTube channel called
Improvement,
Dynamic
efficiency,
Foundry
everything.
Group. And a
A lot
lot of
more than
beautiful
300 videos are there in the YouTube channel. So you can get a lot of And if you want anything, you get my number and call me anytime and ask me anything. I'm
Yeah.
always there.
Okay, okay. Noted, sir. Thank you.
Any questions?
That's good, interesting, sir. Thank you.
Sandeep
Thank you,
sir,
sir. Sorry, everybody.
yeah. Sandeep sir, I have my one question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, I think your area you touched from the start from the melt shop, sand plant, pouring operation, forecast, quality, purchase, maintenance. I think
Yes, sir.
maybe you must have done enormous work in this area to collect the data. What data to be collected? How the dashboard should be? What are the parameters to be? If you have any sort of template, you already said, maybe you can have one more session where you can populate the actual data which is required, which can
Yes.
give the directive for
Actual
that.
data. That is very important.
Yeah,
That's the,
with that data, if you can speak, maybe I think that can give a eye opener for many of the foundry members. Gentlemen, any questions? Can we close it?
Yes, sir. I'm done. We are done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think I'm sure that everybody must have got a very good input from this session. And I think it was one of the start from the basic data to elaborative session, why the data is important, what is the data analysis, and each and every area. Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni has gone in detail. I'm sure that this, if you can implement in your foundry, it will give enormous cost saving, rejections, all those things will be improvement. If you have any queries, you can also mail it to us. You can connect with the speaker. And as Mr. Sandeep said, he is one of the veteran in the Kolhapur area. He is well known figure. We run his YouTube channel. You can get into his YouTube channel. There will be a lot of videos are uploaded already. And IIF Chennai chapter is also our own YouTube channel. There is also a lot of data are available. You can get benefit of it. Thank you once again for all your time.
thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sandeep sir, thank you very much, sir. Thanks for
Thank you,
spending
sir.
your valuable time, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Kumar. Kumar, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.